Hi, I'm Terry Hargrave. I'm one of the counselors here at the Hideaway Experience. One of the things that we strive to do at the Hideaway Experience is to help people get to the root of the problems that cause conflict in their marriages. One of the follow-ups that we want to do is to help remind you that the pain that you feel is very legitimate. It comes from a source which you can understand, and usually that source did not originate with your spouse. It usually originated in your family of origin. So one of the things that we want to help you understand and help reminding you is the fact that your pain is a response to something that you missed out on. In any family that we come from, we are required to have basically two things. The first thing is love. Love teaches you all about who you are. And in fact, there's no way to know who you are except by the way that people loved you, that were charged with your care. The only way that you know that you're worthy, that you're precious, that you're not alone, is by people who loved you and kept you when you were small. However, you may have come from one of those families that was inadequate in providing you love, and you felt unworthy, you felt not precious, you felt alone. So love is important because it tells you who you are. The other factor that's just as important that we don't talk about as much is trust. Trust is another thing that is an absolute requirement in families. If you don't have trustworthiness, you really don't know how to behave in relationships. Trustworthiness teaches you that you can freely give to another individual and trusting the fact that they will give back what you need from them. If you don't have this trustworthiness, then you're prone to think that you have to take care of yourself, and therefore you become manipulative sometimes, you become angry or threatening, or you may withdraw. Well, these two requirements, if you didn't get one or both of these, it's a fact that you will feel some type of emotional pain. And when your brain develops, when you feel that kind of emotional pain, you will have some kind of coping reaction that will try to manage life without the love and trust that you rightly deserved. One of those reactions that we find consistently at the Hideaway Experience to a lack of love is rage. Some people that feel rage, they blame others, they're angry all the time, they may be insensitive or critical, overly critical to somebody. It's simply a response, a coping mechanism that helps cover up the pain that they feel from not being loved. The other response, and the other extreme, is that of shame. Individuals that usually shame themselves, that have that reaction, they usually say, these people were right that were supposed to love me and didn't. They were right because I'm not lovable. These people are particularly prone to be very negative. They tend to be needy or clingy and somewhat depressed from time to time. Well, certainly you can rage, certainly you can shame, but you can also be in this cycle of rage and shame. So it is possible to do both of these things. On the other side, in terms of trustworthiness, people usually respond to lack of trustworthiness in one of two ways. The first way is they usually seek to control things. These people become highly organized, they know what they want, but they take care of themselves, and therefore controllers tend to not make themselves very vulnerable to relationships. They tend to be highly critical of others that don't fit into their plan, and they tend to really, for lack of a better word, just be bossy. Well, the other extreme to this response of not being trustworthy, things not being trustworthy, is to be chaotic. And chaos is basically a response that says, no matter what I do, no matter how hard I try, things will turn out badly for me. And so the only choice that I have is to escape. Chaotic people tend to be very unorganized. They tend to not face problems. They tend to escape into other activities, maybe addictions like alcohol or drugs, but this can be very destructive. Of course, like rage and shame, you can also do both of these in terms of control and chaos. It's important that you understand that This pain that you basically feel in these types of responses, they certainly are traceable back to your family or where you came from in relationships, but it's a basic response that you have learned and perfected through your years of life, even preceding your marriage.